my god, I am sweating so bad. My air conditioning is not working and it's finally getting really hot in LA again. So I'm just gonna be glistening a bit in this video. Might have a little stash shimmer, I don't know. I am so hot. Anyways, let's get to the video. Hi guys, my name is Cammie and I'm gay. But I'm assuming most of you already know that. In honor of June being Pride Month, I thought what better time to discuss all things gay related than now. I haven't planned what I'm talking about in this video at all, so I'm kind of assuming it's gonna be pretty long and all over the place. Also, this shirt I'm wearing is so fitting for a couple reasons. One, because, well, girls do roll. So there's just that. And since I like the ladies, it makes sense. And it's also my girlfriend's shirt. Thanks, Cara, for leaving your things accidentally at my apartment. Oh my god, I'm trying so hard not to let this sweat get the best of me. So I think in middle school is when it really became a thought. So from the ages of like 11 to 15 is when I started to notice something was up. And at the time, I thought something was wrong. I mean, it's when you're going through puberty, you start like having hormones running through your body and you start being attracted to other individuals. A lot of my friends are dating guys and guys are forming an interest in me and all my friends are trying to get me to go on dates with these boys and I just have no interest. And in my head, I thought something was wrong with me. I didn't know if I was just maybe too immature to like a boy in that way, or even more terrifying, I was incapable of love. And I know that sounds so extreme for like a 12-year-old to be worrying about, but I thought maybe I just wouldn't like people in that way. It was very confusing. So I would date boys and avoid them like the plague. I remember this one kid I dated, we had classes on opposite sides of the hallway, so we'd have to walk by each other every day. And I would do anything to avoid this, whether I stayed late in the other class or I would like pretend like I was writing something in my agenda book, anything not to make eye contact so I didn't have to talk to him. This continued for several years until I met my first girlfriend. Now, when I met her, I thought we're just really, really good friends. And just like now, I didn't open up to a lot of people even back then. And I wanted to talk to her. I wanted to share information. I wanted to know about her. And that was just a different feeling than I had ever had. But at the time, I just thought, okay, we're really good friends, or I admire you, or I don't know, just anything. And this persisted for a few years, and it was, I love you as a friend, or if anything seemed off or a little bit more, I don't even know what to call it, just we acted anything more than friends. It was like, oh yeah, well, it's just you. I just have this love for you. And it was like denial city. Even up to the time where we were like actually dating, like called each other's girlfriends. Not that we told anyone else, but it was still like it would only be you. I'm straight, but you're an exception. At the time, I didn't have anyone to identify with. I didn't have anyone who labeled themselves as a lesbian. Oh, and just to clarify something, I know I say gay and technically people use that for a male who likes other males, but I don't know, I just prefer the word more than lesbian. I don't know. So if you're confused and you're like, you're not gay, you're a lesbian, I say gay, so that's to clear that up. Anyways, there weren't any lesbians in the public eye that I could look up to and relate to in some way. I mean, there were plenty that you could look up to. There was like Ellen DeGeneres and Rosie O'Donnell and all these people who in their own right are incredible and amazing and just wonderful humans, but I didn't see myself in them. And this is where I feel like labels can be beneficial. They can be detrimental as well, but they really can help you understand yourself. And at the time, all these women who liked other women, I just didn't relate to. So in my head, I thought, okay, does this mean that I am going to have to start dressing more boyish and not liking makeup and not doing my hair and all these ridiculous thoughts. But at the time, they were terrifying. I just didn't understand. It was either I'm not like them, so I must not be gay. Or if I am gay, I'm going to become like them. So one day I was at home from school because I was sick and I was watching TV and the show South of Nowhere came on. And I know a lot of people these days don't know this show, but if you can find it on anything to stream, you need to watch it. It's so great. There's these two characters, Spencer and Ashley. Both of them are much more feminine than I had ever seen a gay character or actual human portrayed as. And I related to these girls. They were very young, they were in school. The one was like this badass, cool chick. And then Spencer, like the wholesome girl next door. I related to Spencer so much and just thought Ashley was the hottest thing to walk this earth. But it was the biggest relief of my life watching this show and finally finding someone that I could relate to who also identified as liking women. I remember my girlfriend got done with school and called me up and I was like, oh my god, I have the best news. I'm gay, you have to watch his show. And it was so easy and relieving for me. I don't think I was thinking about, oh shit, now how do I come out and tell people? It was just such a relief to kind of understand myself. Ugh, I'm like re-feeling those feelings and it was, God, it was so good. I feel like I'm gonna cry. And I feel like I'm getting emotional not because of myself, but thinking of how there's so many people who haven't had that moment yet. And I'm, one, sad that you haven't, but two, so excited for you to have it. And I don't know, maybe some of you will have it right now. And if I can be a part of that, that's the biggest honor in the world. After this, I continued dating this girl and didn't tell anyone. It was kind of easy not to tell anyone because I had this person to kind of feel like I was being myself around. That was lucky, but also not so good in the end because I feel like I put too much into this relationship because it was the only time I wasn't technically lying to anyone. And it definitely lasted much longer than it should have because going through this coming out experience with another individual, honestly, at least with the people that I know, a lot of LGBT teens go through this in their first relationship. It's maybe not the healthiest, maybe not the right relationship at all, but you kind of cling on to it because it's so exciting and you're scared that you'll never find anything like it. I think no matter what your sexuality is, a lot of young people have this within their first relationship. Anyway, so we stayed together for a while and throughout us being together eventually came out to people. So first people I came out to were two of my really good friends. We were just at a party and they wanted me to like talk to this guy and I eventually burst out in tears and was like, I'm dating so-and-so, and I've just finally told them, and that was like a stressful thing, but so nice because I'm sure, and well, I know a lot of my friends knew and they were just waiting for me to tell them, but sometimes just getting the courage to do it is so impossible. And so I told two of my friends, and then my best friend actually was one of the last friends I told because we were arguing over something stupid and I remember she said something about like, your life is so easy, you get whatever you want. And I just looked at her and I was like, what? I didn't realize that anyone perceived my life like that, but I think it's because I wasn't sharing anything that it came off that way. And I just kind of broke down and was like, oh really? Well, I'm gay and my best friend doesn't even know it, so how easy do you think my life is? And we became closer than ever after this. So yeah, I told my friends in high school and then didn't tell a lot of people until my sophomore, junior year of college, actually. Junior, yeah. It took me forever to tell my college freshman year roommate. I just was like, what if she feels uncomfortable? And I mean, we had a room and a bathroom in it. We would get changed, like she'd be in a robe, and I was terrified that she was gonna feel uncomfortable or feel like I'm checking her out, which again, a lot of these fears and thoughts are ridiculous to me now, but they are very real in the moment. But we would stay up for hours talking to each other, and she would talk about her boyfriend all the time, and I would just be like, yeah, or I'd relate in a way where she was like, how are you relating? You're not dating anyone. So she basically had it figured out as well. But I finally told her, and she just could not have handled it better. She was so sweet and so wonderful and made me feel so comfortable. But I wasn't out to anyone else at the college, so my freshman experience was not very good. I was terrified to get close with anyone because I was like, oh, I'm eventually gonna need to tell them I'm gay. And I just wasn't ready. So I transferred schools, which was the best decision of my life. I loved my new school anyway, and finally, after a big dramatic thing, my girlfriend and I came out to everyone. We were on a dance team together, so we finally came out to our whole team, and they obviously all knew. They're like, you guys fight like a married couple. Of course you're together. So again, that was super easy. They were so supportive. I was so lucky because I had random little moments that stuck with me growing up that meant nothing. Like, it took us so long to come out to our dance team because we thought our coach said something, I don't know, it wasn't even like a homophobic thing or whatever. It was some little comment that being gay, you think everyone is meaning something. So my girlfriend and I took it wrong and didn't come out to her for so long, and she's been one of the most supportive people ever. And then I remember in high school, this kid came up to me in gym class and was like, hey Cam, are you gay? I hear you're gay. And he genuinely was just asking out of curiosity, and I took it as like, you're gonna be mean to me if I say yes. You're gonna hate me if I say yes. And I was like, I froze. I'm sure I got beat red, and I was like, no, what? Where did you hear that? What? The moments are dumb and really didn't mean anything, but when someone says something, and even a harsh homophobic comments, they don't even remember. It means nothing to them. But that really sticks with you, and it can scare you into coming out to someone because you think that they won't accept you. But people will really surprise you. I've had some of the most homophobic, I thought, people be the most supportive. I know it's hard to ignore those things, but take everything people say with a grain of salt, because chances are it doesn't mean anything to them. Coming out to my parents, yeah, my mom had definitely made many comments like those little ones that terrified me and really made it feel like I would never come out to her. I'm so close to my family, but having this huge secret from them really felt like it was kind of driving a wedge between us. And it's just like all of my other relationships in my life, coming out has made me so much closer to the people in my life. And truly, if there was anyone who wasn't okay with it, I don't really want those type of people in my life. But when I came out to my mom, I was going through a really hard time with something involving my first girlfriend, and I was at home, and I didn't used to spend a lot of time at home back then, and I was very evidently sad. I just wasn't talking. I couldn't hide it. I was very upset. My mom and I were sat outside by our pool on the deck, and she made lunch, and I was just like moving the food around on my plate, pretending like I was eating because I just had no appetite. And my mom was so worried about me and was just kind of begging me to tell her what was wrong. She just naturally, as a loving mother, wanted to make me feel okay and make me better and make sure nothing awful was happening. And to me, it felt awful. But I don't know why I couldn't muster the courage and the words to tell her. It got to the point where she said, okay, well, what if I guess? Will you tell me if I guess? I was like, okay, maybe. Seems like an easier way to do this. And she was saying like the weirdest things. I don't remember what she said, but they were so off. And I was like, you know I'm gay. Like, I know you know I'm gay. So finally, after like a few hours of this, honestly, I just broke down and told her everything. And her main response was, Cam, please. I've known since you were 4. And I was like, oh yeah, right, what? There's no way. And we just laughed, and she told me how much she loves me and was really supportive. I think when you come out to your parents, my main advice to people is always, it took you a while to accept who you are, so give them time to accept it as well. It's just, sadly, not what they expect, especially even just a few years ago. We grow up in a world where it's just assumed that it's a man and a woman, especially our parents. So it's just, naturally, your parents think about you growing up and think about your wedding day and think about you having kids. So to throw off what your wedding day might look like, it's just different. And especially for somebody afraid of change, this can be hard to get through. But at the end of the day, your parents love you, and a parent's love should always be unconditional. That's it. There's no excuse. I always say, your parents have to love you. They brought you into this world. They don't get to stop loving you. They chose to have you. They don't have a choice to not love you. So if they don't, the LGBTQ community is huge, and you can pick your family. You don't have to be stuck with people who aren't gonna love you and not respect you because of who you love. That's just a silly notion that makes no sense. But at the same time, have patience and have faith that they will come around. I just don't think it's worth cutting off your family who you love just because they're gonna take a little bit of time to accept it. Now, it's not okay to be in an environment where you feel in physical danger. So don't do that to yourself. I'm not saying to put up with any type of abuse, but try to be patient and don't give up on them, even when they say rude comments. I've had my mom, who's very open-minded and very wonderful, say things where I'm like, that's not okay, and that's offensive, and that hurts me. And instead of just freaking out and getting mad at her, I tell her, and then she gets it and she understands, hopefully. But your parents should always love you unconditionally, and that's the bottom line. I didn't actually ever have a conversation with my dad. That day when I told my mom, I said to her, is dad gonna be disappointed? And she told me that they had already actually discussed it. And my dad was laying in bed reading his National Geographic like he always does every night, and she said, hey hun, you think Cam might be gay? And he didn't flinch, didn't look up from his article, probably didn't even stop reading his article, and said, so what if she is? And that is like a perfect example of who my dad is. He's intelligent, he's open-minded, and he is a man of few words. And now for my brother, again, like my family, their reactions were the best description of their personalities. So I'm driving my brother, he's older than me by 4 years. I'm driving him to work one day because he didn't have a car at the moment. And again, was having girl issues, and I'm assuming my mom told him what was going on. But anyways, he goes, hey, I hope you know that boy or girl, if someone hurts you, I will hurt them. And my brother's always been my bodyguard. Like that's what I called him and his friends growing up, because they were just so protective. And that was just his way of saying like, it's okay, I love you, and I don't care who you love. Now, I am well aware that I have a very fortunate, blessed storybook coming out story. Sadly, not everyone has that. For a long time, I felt guilty for it. When I hear your messages about how difficult it is sometimes, it just breaks my heart, and I just feel so lucky every day for the friends and family and people in my life who have been so supportive. Like I said, just know that there are plenty of people out there who are gonna love you for you, and you don't have to put up with those who don't. Okay, since this was such a long story as it is, I am going to cut it short here. Short's probably not a great word to use, but I really want to continue talking about these topics with you guys for the rest of the month and forever. So feel free to let me know what you want me to discuss in the comment section below, whether it be dating girls or dealing with being femme or honestly anything. Also, I'm finally gonna be live streaming, and I would like to do it every week sometime around the release of the video so we can talk about content. And this week we can just discuss anything you have questions about that's gay related. So for my first live stream, I am going to do it once my account on there gets 500, I think we'll say. Yeah, 500 people. I will put the link in the description box below for my Live Me. That's the platform I'm going to be using. So if you have it already, go check out my account, and if you don't, click the link below and it'll take you to sign up. I'm also going to be announcing during my first live stream Pride that I am going to. I'll be at LA Pride this coming weekend, but I'm also going to another one. So go ahead over to my Instagram picture and comment where you think or wish I'm going, and I will reveal it on the live stream. I hope you guys have an incredible weekend. I'm gonna go reapply some deodorant because I smell so bad from sweating. It's so hot. Thank God the sun's going down. But wow, TMI. Love you guys so much, and I will see you, well, I was gonna say next week, but I'll see you on the live stream. Bye guys.